So you might have heard that Roth conversions can be a great way to convert some of your pre-tax accounts into Roth accounts, particularly as you approach or enter retirement. But I wanted to talk to you today about a few reasons why that might be a bad idea. And I can think of four reasons why that might be a bad idea. The first one is that you are currently living in a high state income tax state and plan to move or retire to a low or no income tax state. It makes very little sense to pay high income taxes on converted funds only to move to a state where converting those funds there would incur a much lower state income tax. It's important to remember that when you do a Roth conversion, these funds are not just federally taxed, but also taxed at the state level. The second reason is if you are charitably inclined. After age 70 and a half, you can do something called qualified charitable distributions, or QCDs for short. One cool thing, or a couple cool things about QCDs, is they lower your AGI, so they're a above the line deduction, independent of whether you are itemizing your taxes or claiming the standard deduction, which is fantastic. And they can be used to satisfy RMDs, or required minimum distributions, which is also fantastic. You can use qualified charitable distributions to carry out your charitable intentions without incurring income taxes. So it makes little sense to pay income taxes on converted funds to just turn around and then contribute those funds to charity. That would make little sense. A third reason that you might not want to convert funds is that you do not have funds outside of your retirement accounts to pay the tax on the converted amounts. So when we do a Roth conversion, we owe income taxes, state and federal income taxes on the converted amounts. It's best practice to use funds outside of your retirement accounts. So these usually come from taxable brokerage accounts or checking or savings to pay the tax on those converted accounts for two reasons. Number one, if you're less than 59 and a half, the amount that you use to pay the tax would count as a unqualified distribution. So you would owe a 10% penalty on the amounts used to pay tax if you're below age 59 and a half. That obviously reduces the value of the Roth conversion. And number two, even if you are over age 59 and a half, it simply reduces the value of the Roth conversion altogether, because less of the converted amount is being allowed to grow. And the benefit of a Roth conversion is allowing those funds to grow tax-free and be withdrawn tax-free. The value of that benefit grows over time. So if you reduce the amount of those converted funds, then you reduce the value of the conversion. And the last one is if you plan to use the funds within 5 years. This is particularly important if you are less than age 59 and a half. Converted amounts have a 5-year, we'll call seasoning period. And this means that if you are less than 59 and a half, you cannot touch the converted principals, no, the amounts that were converted, for 5 years without avoiding the 10% penalty. So if you touch those funds within 5 years, you will incur the 10% penalty. So if you need the funds within 5 years and you're below age 59 and a half, that is not something you would want to do, because you're just essentially slapping yourself with the 10% penalty for no reason. So to recap, there are 4 reasons why you might not want to consider Roth conversions, although they are a super valuable tool. One is if you are currently living in a high state income tax state and you plan to move to a low or no state income tax state. Two, if you are charitably inclined and you could foresee yourself taking advantage of qualified charitable distributions or QCDs. Three, if you do not have funds outside of your Roth accounts outside of your pre-tax accounts to pay for the tax on the converted amounts. And lastly, if you are under the age of 59 and a half and you are going to need those funds within 5 years, you will want to avoid the 10% penalty that goes with taking funds from converted principal before the 5-year clock. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. That's it. That's the end of the video. Bye now.